Welcome to the Chambers. Today we'll be talking about state police. Nigeria has been requesting for state police. Is it a sustainable effort? Can the Nigerian governors fund it? Won't they weaponize it? These are the questions we'll be answering on this episode.
The government have power to do anything. When they give them this state police, they have the power. If you are against the governor, you can use the state police against you.
Despite the fear, is a good thing. Jonathan even went as far as setting up the national confab. Even Buhari regime, they also did Police Reform Act, the community policing. But gave it to President Tinubu, whether we like it or not, is the only president in recent history that has actually moved Nigeria to reducing the power at the federal level, devolution of power, and moving us closer to the true sense of what is called federation.
The issue of state police is a welcome idea, and the president is pushing it because of the insecurity in the country. Senator Bamidele from Ekiti is also pushing it in the Senate. But people are saying that the president is pushing it because of so that it will be in his achievement that yes, it's not that did the state police. But what people is afraid of the state police is that the governors may weaponize it. If there is state police, they will use it as a weapon for their opposition or antagonists. But it's a welcome idea. It will help in the insecurity in the nation. And I think it will be a good achievement for the president.
Thank you. So, Quazeem, what's your stand on this?
Yeah, when we look at the way we've been going about the policing system in Nigeria over times, you'll notice that successive governments, even since 1999, have been trying one way or the other. They want to do police reform, even during the Obasanjo era, police reform, during Jonathan era. Even Jonathan went as far as setting up the national confab. Even Buhari regime, they also did Police Reform Act, the community policing. But gave it to President Tinubu, whether we like it or not, is the only president in recent history that has actually moved Nigeria to more of reducing the power at the federal level, devolution of power, and moving us closer to the true sense of what is called federation. And the issue of national police or federal police that we've been using over time is not actually working. And we've seen the rise in all these insecurities, banditry, and every other thing. So, state police as an achievement, if this current president can really give it to Nigeria, despite the fear, is a good thing. Though I also share part of the fear, knowing how rogue our governors can be. The truth of the matter is, the governors can actually weaponize state police. The state independent electoral commissions that were under them, we know how they weaponize it against opposition party. I don't think there is any state, probably maybe except Lagos. I don't even think whether it's even possible, whereby you have local government elections, councillorship elections, and opposition's party within. Results are written, and in most cases, they don't even conduct those elections. Now, when these governors now have the power to state police, imagine what they can do with it. Because according to our constitution, governors in their own right are like many presidents, except not having the power of the armed forces and other security apparatus. Now, when you now look at the government as a president that's ready to go of his power, because of the rising insecurity, to give us state police, we should be concerned on how the governors
are going to
use them. That's the first point. The second point that we should also look at is looking at the way the federating states in Nigeria are structured. How many states can actually fund state police? Most states except him, relies on federal allocations from the top. Now, we are talking about expenses in billions of naira every month. States that barely or they manage to pay civil servants. Adding the expenses of state police to their quota to their coffer, is another expenses that most governors, though there are mechanisms put in place by the executive bill that will make sure that things go smoothly. But if you know Nigeria the way I know Nigeria, that things can be written on paper. Actualization, the way people abuse those things, the constitutions, is the fear that most Nigerians are having. That beyond giving us state police, that will make it a dual policing system. There are other issues that even though the executive bills and the bill that was proposed by the House of Rep, National Assembly, try to manage these situations, that there are structures that are put in place to safeguard the overreachness of the governor, to make sure that the structures are in place to oversee the state police service and the federal police service. All these structures can be there. And when all these structures are there, it still leads to one point. All these structures in safeguarding state police are actually controlled by the federal government. That means we may be having two policing systems under the control of the federal government with little power given to the states to appoint their own commissioner subject to the approval of National Police Council. Also, for them to be ready, they have to get the approval, the certificate that they are ready from the National Police Service Council. All this shows that some states, if the certification process is hard or is rigorous, some states may never get it because they don't have the fund, even though federal government promised to actually support. And if they relax the certification, that means some states may end up employing area boys, rogue elements into the state police just to serve the purpose of the governor. But in all, we need it. It's going to be an ongoing process. Nigeria itself is not perfect. And I believe any issue that arises from the implementation of state police, there should be mechanism for us to tackle it.
Thank you, Quazeem. So, if you are going to have a state police, let's say we are going to have a state police law, that means we are going to have state police across all the 36 states. And now, assume that issue came around, an issue pops up, there's a crime. How do they intend to go about it? That's number one. Number two, are the governors or those people that are seeking for state police, are they being sincere about it, or is it political? Ibrahim?
What I think is that when there is interstate crime, I think the state police will be responsible for it. But if they can't tackle, if the crime overpower them, I think they will now seek the help of the federal police service. And that's how they want to do it. So because there are some crime that they will handle, but they don't have the financial or any resources, but they will seek the help of the Inspector General of Police, that means the federal government. So they will now come in to tackle the situation. And maybe some governors are sincere or are not sincere. All the governors are saying they follow the president and this reform of the police system. But there are some governor that don't want it, like the governor of Oyo State. It has shown in his behavior that they don't want state police. So not all governors, but the majority of the governors are with the president and this reform.
Do you think they are ready for
Yeah, they are ready. One majority of the government are ready. So, and the president too is ready. So it's a go for the president.
I might a little bit disagree on that. When you look at the structure of the Nigerian states, you can also say that they are not equal. There are states that are richer, and there are states that are poorer. There are states that survived only primarily on federal allocations alone. Now, even though federal government promise financial support for any state that is ready, we can see that the implementations of state, the kind of certification that is required from the National Police Council may not be something that can be easily get by some states. So not all states are ready. But they can't come out to say it out like that. We are not ready for due to the insecurity in the country. Because we are talking about state police, that means we are talking about giving the states their own judiciary system, whereby they are going to have state police. Anybody arrested by this police, they need to create their own correctional service. They need to pay salaries, build police stations, build intelligence centers. They need to, get approval from probably the National Police Council or the Federal Police Council, the National Police Council, the NSA, to procure firearms. These processes are not something that all states can be said to be ready for. Some states will serve as pilot states. You can state like Lagos, Port Harcourt, Rivers State, Kano State, probably Ogun State, Cross River State. These are heavy spending states, state that they have the money. And again, when we look at it, the oppositions have started raising red flag as the timing. That if state police is put in place before the election, probably there's an ulterior motive. But like I kept on saying, we are talking about insecurity. How effective state police can be, we don't know until we see what they are going to be doing. But it is a step in the right direction, irrespective of whether the governors are ready or not. And I pray we work it out.
My own major concern is, you mentioned something earlier regarding being weaponized, the state police by the state government or by the state governor. We all remember what happened during the time of, even before the time of NSAS. A lot of us experienced police brutality, harassment, and all that. So, don't you think, giving them state police, there may be another problem or mayhem in that kind of window, that maybe they will be hiring those people that are not up to standard, that don't have the orientation. Do you get what I'm saying now? That don't have the orientation to go about vulgar guys or ras guy or street guys into these things. So, do you think? If you are to view it from that angle, don't you think that side is going to be a problem, Ibrahim?
Let's the reform start first and see what will happen. We just try to encourage this our governor to just try not to weaponize this state police reform. But that is the only issue people are having with the governors. Because the governor have power to do anything, when they give them this state police, they know they have the power to do anything. If you are against the governor, you can use the state police against you. So that is the fear people are having. But there is a good development. Let's start with this state police and see what will happen.
Thank you. Quazeem, what's your take on this?
Over time, the two issues around state police is always, will the government weaponize it, will they corrupt it, and the issue of funding. And sincerely speaking, looking at how the governors move around governance issues, that fear is there. But when you look at the executive bill and the policy work that is being done on state police, you can say that there are structures that are actually put in place in those bills to safeguard against this thing. Like I said earlier, there is the governor can appoint commissioner subject to the approval of state assembly and scrutiny by the National Police Council, but the governor cannot remove commissioner. But if you look at what has been happening in Nigeria, even presently, the Inspector General seems not to even be in control
Of the things.
of his boys. Inspector General will give an order. Some of the police officers will discount the order. The police system is so corrupt. They do a lot of things. So if you are talking about the structure, the policy document is talking about, okay, the appointment, training, meeting a certain threshold. But the issue of the fact is, when states are in control, when governors are in control of state police, anything can happen. Anything can happen. It's not about appointment of commissioners alone. There are officers at different cadre that work in the policing system. The governors can use those ones for different purposes. That's the fear. But when we get to that bridge, or when we get to that water, we know how to cross it. The fear is there, and Nigerians have every right to be afraid of the excesses of the governors. But the excesses are also there with the federal police. And when we have all this, the issue still boils down to we are having two policing systems that the approval, the certification, the threshold is still being controlled by the Federal National Police Council, which is controlled by the federal police. In essence, we are having state police, but the federal government is having a hold or is having a grip on the state police. Because when you look at the policy document very well, the executive bill on state police, you can see the structures that are there. That before a state can make the certification for state police, there are things that they must do in terms of training, in terms of putting in structures. So the federal government still holds the card.
Okay.
But the governors, they always find loophole.
So speaking about structure, I think I'm satisfied now, because that's my own major concern. I just feel like they follow the structure the way, because the way we plan things here in Nigeria, I don't want to say I'm ashamed. Sometimes if some issue pops up and you find out, you'll be like, is this Nigeria? Didn't we have any structure? And it's not as if we don't have any structure, but at times things just go out of hand unnecessarily, the way it's supposed to go. That is basically it. So thank you for joining us on this episode. I remain your host, Olalekan. See you on the next one.